Welcome to ASCENT. Today's question: what is the divine masculine going through as they shift, as they change, that they are not emotionally, able to speak, that they're not able to communicate to us? What is the divine masculine experiencing right now? Or what is it that we need to know so that we can make sense of the things that they are unable to voice for themselves? Wow, okay. So we see a divine masculine who's experiencing this sense of duality. They are still thinking with the old mind, they're feeling with the old feelings, but thinking with the new mind. And it seems to be confusing them a bit. What do we... Okay. If there is one thing you wanted to know from your divine masculine other than, when are you coming home or why haven't you come home, right? But if there was anything you wanted to know right now, what would you want to know? For some reason, I think it's important for us to all kind of put it out there. I think it's going to give a lot of clarity, especially for those of you who are in the chat or, go back and read the comments to see if someone else has asked your question or to see even maybe there's going to be a pattern in the questions. So, yeah. All right, let me get this spread laid out. Whoa. Oh my goodness gracious, how many is this? That is way too many. There's a lot going on. Oh, there's a lot going on. Yeah, is that 3? Wow. Okay, DM. Okay, so this, I get a very distinct feeling here that this is probably something that if they could, they would want to tell us. If they could get this out. And if they really understood what they were dealing with, they would want to say this directly to us. And again, I don't mean be able to say this at all. I don't mean be able to share something or, great, awesome, good for them. I mean be able to say it to you as their person, as their divine feminine. So what are we doing here? 3D, 5D, or is this... I'm kind of getting emotional and mind. So let's find out the emotional blockages first. Where are they still in their old energy when it comes to love? When it comes to dealing with the past, their old relationships? Again, this is not just about intimate relationships. It's about loyalty and trust for them for some reason. What are we needing to understand? Wow. Okay. If you've been around long enough, you're already like, bing, 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 bing. But if you haven't, let me just tell you, I have a lot of different little connections when certain cards come out together. From when I first started reading tarot, I just started laying cards out in the very beginning, and I got all these different stories, and it's just been what I've carried through for all this time. One of the things that came out over time is divine masculine, divine feminine. Divine feminines show love. Think about the 6 of Cups. Pure, here's a flower. I know it doesn't seem like much, but I grew it for you from, I poured my heart into it from all this time, and now it's growing and budding into something beautiful. And you often see the Fool, right, with a flower, pure white flower in their hand. Okay. 6 of Pentacles, more meticulous thought process of, I want to give, I want to help, I want to bless as many people as possible. I want to use my gifts in a logical way. So I'm still showing love, but it is not so natural and flowy. It is more on the hardened side of things. That, not necessarily saying tough love, but more, again, just the best way to put it is love, logic, divine feminine, divine masculine. And so seeing this together is very interesting. This is 12. This is hanged man energy. This is the internal conflict, the internal battle. To see the divine masculine is struggling with relationships, which is why they're still struggling with using their gifts, is a major, major insight. Do not miss that. The divine masculine is struggling to stand in who they are as the divine masculine because they don't yet understand the purity of love that is necessary for the partnership, necessary for you two to be able to walk side by side, hand in hand, and make really powerful decisions as two, rather than, again, if you weren't supposed to be a twin flame, they could have just made you guys into one person rather than splitting you into two where two heads were required and two bodies were even maybe required. Okay, so interesting. What is the first thing the divine masculine wants you to know they are struggling with? The first thing they want you to know that they emotionally, when it comes down to you, intimate relationships, when it comes down to being able to trust the way they feel, or their feelings not intimate or instantly going to negative, fear, anger, whatever. What is it they need you to understand? No, wow, 9 of Wands. I want to protect you, but right now I'm still stuck trying to protect myself. I am still stuck in the battle. Wow, this is weird because we just had the battle show up in the energy. And then we see the prisoner of war. The divine masculine is still a prisoner of their old emotions. This is not a choice, okay? And you know what? I think that's probably really what this card is. This is saying, my love, I am trying. I am trying really hard. It is not easy. And I think that as I look at this, you see, 6, then you see 9. This is that Cancer symbol. I'm recording this as we're, coming into this peak of the new moon in Cancer. And again, these readings are timeless, but that could give you a really good piece of insight if you're watching this later. Just to know, hey, this is around the time I might want to look into what was happening in my person's life. But even now, it's just kind of interesting to consider everything that's been happening. A lot of these culminating moments that are coming right after this shift are going to be related to what started in around 2018, 2019, and is still showing up in all the Cancer and Capricorn moons, which we just experienced Capricorn a few days ago, or a couple weeks ago. So as we look at this and we see this, this reversal energy, I feel like they're coming into their balance still. And there's that King of Cups. I am not emotionally balanced. And again, I may have figured something out, but maybe I'm still stuck sitting in the middle of the ocean. Maybe I'm still stuck. Again, it's that feeling of, I have the plan, but I haven't executed it yet. I haven't made it out. I got the message, but I haven't left the person. I saw the truth, but I still need to do a couple things to make sure I can get out safely. There's this sense of either feeling stuck, completely aware, but stuck nonetheless, or feeling stuck and confused. Because again, the bump on the head, this person's head is wrapped, and that could kind of give this sense of a little bit of, I don't know. I don't want to say, I don't know why trauma came here. But I guess I don't want to, wow. I guess I didn't want to think about it. What gave them that bump? Maybe that's what they're trying to figure out. It's like amnesia. Wow. Maybe that's the message, is I don't have amnesia anymore. I remember who I am now, but you have to think about how long I spent not knowing. I think that's a traumatic feeling, to come back to oneself, but to then look back. Think about individuals who have a dissociative disorder, where maybe they dissociate so fully, or even could have an additional personalities within, or maybe they black out or whatever. There's something where they lose time, but somehow they're able to see what happened when they lost that time, and it's not them. And they're like, that's not me. I would never do any of those things. I don't know what's happening. I feel like the divine masculine just had a moment of looking at all the stuff. They just got the message the war is over right as they remembered who they were. And it's just a lot all at once. Okay. Should we go here? I kind of feel like we need to. So if this is where they're emotionally blocked and they don't know how to communicate this to you, It might, you know what I kind of get the sense of here? You wouldn't believe me. You know how we often say in the tarot area, we're like, you can't make this up. You see someone shuffling on camera and then the cards come out and you're like, whoa, you can't make that up, right? Okay. This is you wouldn't believe me if I tried. And I get a little sadness. I'm not going to front. So what is it that we need to understand? This is the message from our 3D. I guess we're kind of getting this channel message from 3D DM and now 5D DM. There is a little bit of this in here, okay? So again, emotionally speaking, this is what I'm struggling with. My 3D DM, this is where I am. Okay, great. But my 5D DM has handled the logic. Again, I know who I am again. I remember. It's just emotionally pulling myself out of that space has been a struggle. What do we need to understand? 3 of Wands. Wow, and look at that. This person is headed home. This person is making long-term plans. This person, now that they know the war is over, and look at that, that's 12. This person now understands, and this is crazy because this is 12 and this is the same suit, so this is amplified. This to me, and here's the funny thing, many of you know, like my stories about the 6 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, that I have this connection with the Wands where the Hanged Man is actually the King of Wands. That's interesting, to see this. Because again, the Hanged Man, the King of Wands is a husband card. The King of Wands is the card of focus, forward momentum. And to see the 3 of Wands here and to put this all together, to me, says the Divine Masculine has found some new spark of inspiration. And with that comes this seriousness. With that comes this this truth. And again, this sense of self. See, there it is. I lost myself. I found myself. Okay, so DF, you wouldn't believe me if I tried. And a lot of the things that I want have not changed. This is something I think is really important. Please don't miss this message. Divine Feminine, your 5D DM who has begun to, or almost finished, or already finished downloading everything they need for this next season, they have not yet integrated it here, but logically and spiritual based logic, right? Like laws, universal laws kind of, they get it. They understand. And they are looking forward. They're under the impression, there is a full-on expectation that whatever comes next involves you, that whatever is about to happen requires you to be present. They're making long-term plans and they want you to understand that they now understand on a logical basis that just because they have not integrated it here yet, just because in the 3D they're still a little scared, they're still discombobulated, they're a little frazzled, but in the 5D, they know what's to come. They've already made the plan. They're envisioning it now while they're still here. The 5D is a lot stronger and a lot more sure than the 3D is. And if you've been experiencing a lot of 3D, that's probably where you're confused about what's really going on with this person as well. 3D says, hey, I'm struggling to understand. 5D says, I know who I am, therefore I know who you are. I know my contract involves you. I have made optimistic long-term plans for us. I am ready to go to war if I have to, but I don't believe that's necessary anymore. I think I know I need to come home. This is also a time of coming home. The Divine Feminine has been getting messages from the Divine Masculine. If you've missed the channelings, let me just bring you up to speed. DM says, go home, come home, be ready for me. I've got something important for us to do and I need you to be ready. So interesting, we see Divine Masculine on the edge of something big, already thinking about what's next, wanting to get through to you that even though they don't understand here, they definitely get it here. 3D, what's next? What's the next thing they want to understand? 9 of Cups. And you know what? I think this is about their dreams. I think this is probably about the part of them that is struggling the most. And the fact that, again, we end up with this kind of 6-9, this Cancerian energy is pointing me towards, and this is 9 of Cups too, so that definitely even points me towards my home, my heart, the space, the place where I feel most myself, the place where I feel comfortable. So this is not necessarily about intimate relationships with a partnership. I think this is more so the relationships around them. And this might be where the whole trust and loyalty is coming in. How can I trust myself if I forgot who I am? That's the one thing I should be able to depend on myself to do. How can I trust myself if I have dreams for me, things that are going to help me? And I know that they can help other people. I know that I can be a blessing to other people. And for some reason, I'm too scared, not just for me, but even to care for those people, to actually get up and do it. And I keep using this excuse of people are the problem. And I don't know how to stop myself from doing that. I think what bothers them about this too is that they know it also means that they point the finger at you. They misunderstand where you're coming from. And especially your vision of the future, what you see, new logic makes sense, right? But the 3D is still afraid of it and it still doesn't get why you want what you want. Not all twin flames are meant to, have big families or even a family at all. I'm trying to think, have kids or not, be around a lot of people or be around, like everyone has a different expectation, a different calling to match their mission. But all twin flames are still going to have whatever works for them in terms of, and whatever is good for them, supports their mission. They're going to have that. And whatever it is you want, your true divine masculine in their old space of just ego or darkness would have found that very confusing or almost insulting, or some of them undeserving. They don't feel like they could fit that. Like, what you want to be a good wife or a husband to me, or it's they don't get it. And so it's interesting that the next thing that they're really struggling to integrate and work through, and have been for the past few years, and now that they're ready to move forward, they're kind of like, oh my gosh, they're panicking. I think they're panicking. They feel like they're right there on the edge of their greatest adventure, their greatest dream of a beautiful, contented life. And they cannot figure out how the hell where do I start? Where do I go first? What do I do next? What does the 5D know? Because I think this is just information. I don't think this is, I don't think they know yet. Just gonna be real. But what does the 5D know is next? Because again, they have already integrated this. Spiritually speaking, they're aligned, they are following through. The 3D is just catching up right now. What do we need to know? Wow, look at that. The 2 shall stand. I am cleaning up the motives. Don't worry. The path, we are on the way. Everything I needed to learn in the old space, I get it. We've got it. I'm good. I think they might be missing one thing that needs to actually be collected as a part of the let's move on. But all in all, this entire time, oh, that's sweet. What's really kept them going and what will continue to keep them going is the vision. So some of you need to know this because you have shared a very distinct vision of your future. I think what's interesting is some of you don't even realize, like, I shared a vision with Mr. Lightwork of my future that I saw without him. Not like, oh, without you. I mean, just the visions of my future that I've always seen for myself, even before he ever came along. One of the things I told him, though, was that I did find that even when I was married, I never saw my ex in my visions. It was really, it freaked me out a little bit. I would try to put him in there too. He didn't fit. He always looked out of place. It's so weird. And so what was strange is when I started having these visions of the future again, Mr. Lightwork was there. So that's another thing that's personally maybe good to help you determine, is someone really your person? Not that you have to force them or that, that they don't fit, but that even in their imperfection, they could still be a supportive enough partner that they fit in your future. That's good to know. But anyways, so what's interesting is knowing that the vision that I had for me and what I knew I was going to do that really hadn't changed, maybe evolved over time, but really hadn't changed, was expressed or demonstrated to Mr. Lightwork through what I was doing now or what I was building now, like foundationally or whatever. And he wanted it. He liked it. And then he heard me say, I could see you there. Now, here, he did not believe he was worth it. Here, I believe that it is a part of what helped. Now, obviously, God called him home for whatever reason, but I believe that the hope of what I showed him with what I wanted, because we are one, and him watching me do things that strategically helped me get there just blew his mind. That's why I say get in your Queen of Pentacles. Show them the possibilities through actions. Not saying if you come along, you'll help me get it, because they're going to look at you and say, I haven't gotten it. What would make you think I can add to anything you've got going on to help you? You're better than me. So you got to show them. So much coming through. 5D DM says, do not worry about where I've been. I was undercover. I know some people are like, oh, really? Really? You were undercover? And it's like, look, I'm not talking about someone who hurt you and then came back and was like, baby, I was undercover. I don't know what you know. I'm talking about someone who, in the darkness, in that space, never, like Mr. Lightwork, was always the standout, when I first met him, I thought he purposely hung out with people that were less than to make himself feel better. But I realized that he wasn't like that. He didn't think about it. It just was that everywhere he went, he was the shining star. And this person has very much been a light where they were. So don't give them a hard time for spending too long where they've been, because they were needed. You may not know it yet. Just because they weren't fully awakened or as awakened as you did not mean that they were not valuable in the moment. They are a light worker just like you. And you've both, all of us twins, have been working since we were born, okay? The first smile we ever put on our face that made our parent or guardian or whoever had us in their arms smile, that right there, we've been doing it since it put your year born right there, established in blank, 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 1988 right here. So look, do not let the fear of the divine masculine in this place stop you. You know why? Because this 7 + 3, this is 10. I'm going to get there. 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. I am going to fight the battle. I am going to overcome the tough stuff, the ego, the stress, the things that do not let what old me, who is clinging on for dear life, do not let what old me is doing to me at this time make you think I'm not going to survive it. I got this. I'm having massive, overwhelming downloads come through to help me understand how I feel about you and what's important and what's next for us, and why I had to lose myself and forget myself. And now, as I step forward and I learn more and I try to figure out how to set up my gifts and my goals, I'm starting to realize everything I went through was just to solidify more that the plan was right, was good. And that everything in me, the truth of who I am, even when I forgot myself, my light still shone. This was necessary for the divine masculine to see who they were. So, final message. What is the most important thing your divine masculine is struggling with emotionally? The most important thing, and the thing that honestly they may never, or again, it may take a long time for them to either work through this or be able to communicate this to you. What do we need to know? Oh my God, God, you're so good. They love you. And this is 3D, honey. 3D. This is not 5D. This is in person. This is their flesh. They love you. And maybe they'll tell you and then they'll feel weird about it and you'll think it's you. You'll be like, oh, I sensed, right, that when they said it, maybe it's not real. Maybe they're just saying it to say it. Or maybe they don't really feel it. It's like, you don't understand. When it comes out of their mouth, think about this. Think about them struggling, because this is really how they're supposed to show love. They're masculine. This is them. But they still have in their yin and their yang, that little circle, right? The small part of them still needs to know this. And boy, oh boy, there is just something about you that they cannot understand it. Remember, the Queen of Cups holds a cup that no other cup in the deck looks like that cup. It is the King's special cup of love. King gave that Queen that cup. They don't even understand what they gave you. They had that cup of love that they gave you in the back of their car. They were using it for beer and you know what I mean, or whatever. Like they had no idea. But you looked at it and you started to examine it, and it activated, it sparked something in you. And you understand their love in so many ways more than they do. But oh, they love you. What is it that your 5D needs you to understand? Hopefully this is good, because this is good news, but to know that this is the one thing that even when they feel it down the line, that they still will struggle to just fully comprehend. It's kind of like, ugh, you know, does that mean they're always going to struggle? And it's like, I don't think so. I think it just means that you're probably going to misunderstand the depth of meaning when they tell you how they feel, when they tell you you're their person. You're not going to get it. And you're going to look at how they are saying it, or what words they're using, or, you know, like some people say, oh, they got to come to me with a ring. Some people say, you know, if it's not a certain size, it's like you put all these stipulations and don't realize that person might want to come to you with the imaginary, there's nothing, can I just tell you I want you in my life forever? And it's like, I'm scared to be able to do that, because these people are struggling, and then they think that there's something wrong. And then if you think there's something wrong because of the outside worldly expectations, it just creates this unnecessary tension with something so beautiful as just saying, I love you. Something so beautiful as feeling each other through. I mean, this is big. So what do we need to know? Oh my gosh, this is exactly, remember when I said I feel like there's one more thing that they have to figure out? Oh, wow. That's freaky. Ooh, that's freaky. Okay. The guy is holding 5, right? And I felt like I saw the 6 of Swords. And I was like, okay, the 6 of Swords to me makes sense, because you see DM holding a wand. We got the rod there. And there's the baby. There's the spiritual gift, the blessing of the mission. So when I saw him carrying this stuff, but focusing on the 2 that stands, it was like he was trying to remember, even though he was undercover and he was about to be done and leave with all the information he still had one last thing to do. And so he's been trying to focus on what he needs to remember what he's doing, so he knows where he's headed next. He remembers the plan. So to see this actually show up is really important, because it says that this is the missing link. And look at this. Look at where they are. They're over water. And I think that bringing up the King of Cups and then the Queen of Cups showing up, and then we have this too, to me says the divine masculine has to dive deeper into their emotions and find that emotional balance in order to be able to be ready. And look, they may never be able to fully understand how they feel about you, but the fact that they feel it at all, the fact that they feel it, the fact that even when they forgot who they were, they still remembered you, they still felt this pressure to go home, and that something wasn't right, and it's there's something up here. And I think this person, they're coming around a lot faster than you think. They're coming around and they're working through things. The fact that there was this message coming through that says, hey, I want to talk to you about my emotions, and the way that my logic has not yet integrated into my emotions. But then it says, hey, I will always struggle with this. I will never be able to, because I got this small little understanding of unconditional love in comparison to what you get out of you, what you know about it. It scares me. It will be exhilarating to me for the rest of my life to feel you love me. That's why I want this. That's why I'm headed this way. Remember that for the rest of our lives. This will always be how I feel. I will always want to go forward with you no matter what's happened. I will always want you to be a part of every part of my life. I gave you my cup because I knew you could trust it, and I knew what you would create with it. I knew here though. This one, still working on it. This one may never really get it. May always be shocked and completely in awe by you. But I know who you are. I know who we are. Divine Feminine, if you are questioning anything right now, I'm going to pull the final energy from the 5D for a message from your inner wholeness, your inner DM and your inner DF, your inner self. Here's your message. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh, look at this. Again, 10 of 10. Not one. This is freaky. Wands, swords, wands, sword. 10 of swords, 10 of wands. Divine Feminine, you have to fight this just as much. Divine Masculine is on the way. Look, okay, again, remember I told you the story over here? And then I told you the story over here? Okay, here's another little story for you. This is the same person. This, when I say undercover, this is them when they're heading home. This is them when they're undercover. Okay, you see they got the little hat and they're trying to dress like everybody, but they're sneaking around. Why are you sneaking around if that's where you're supposed to be? Because this is the Knight of Swords, the most highly skilled, fastest knight. This is the warrior king who becomes the king of swords. They've trained their entire life, and they will go wherever they have to go to get the information they need. It was probably a part of the plan all along. They need you to understand what's happening and not get caught up in your own fears about the fact that this is over, that this is ending. I mean, honey, oh my gosh, I just realized something. This is the same freaking person. Look at the rod. Look at the rod. Look at his clothes. Oh my gosh, this is freaky. This is freaky. This is freaking me out a little bit. Okay, freak me out one more time. Let me. So how can I do that, Divine Masculine? How can I not get caught up in my own fears as well? How can I conquer it and be prepared for everything to suddenly shift and move really quickly? Oh, you guys, it was freaking 10 and now it's 10. Focus on what you do want. Focus on the rewards, not the problems or what we had to do to get there. Focus on the happiness. Focus on the joy. Focus on who you are to me, Divine Feminine. Not what I've been going through. When I come home after war, I don't want to talk about war. When I come home after war, I don't want everyone looking at me like I've been at war. I want to come home to love and peace and I just want to get back to life, back to reality. Hold on, I got to look that song up now. I don't know. I'm going to go with it because this right here is crazy to me. So, back to life, back to reality. Now let me tell you something. You want to know who this song is by? Soul to Soul. And the number 2 is a Roman numeral 2. Soul to Soul. This is freaking me out. What's going on here? The song is back to life, back to reality. Show me how. Decide what you want from me. Tell me. Maybe I could be there for you. Now, you want to know why this is freaking me out? Because the Roman numeral 2 would be the major arcana 2, the high priestess. And in one of the decks, the high priestess says what? Carefully consider what you want before acting. That is what they're doing, and that is what they want you to do as well. Think about it. We just saw 1010 come up in this message. This is it. This is it. However do you want me? However do you need me? Back to life, back to the present time. Back from a fantasy. I was undercover. Oh my gosh. Yes, now take the initiative. King of Cups. I'll leave it in your hands. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I will leave it in your hands until you're ready. Until you guys do not have to believe me. I do not know these. I only know however do you want me and back to life. I did not know the words of this song, so I'm going to figure out. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. Take the initiative. Tell me now. I leave it in your hands until you're ready. I live at the top of the block, top of the mountain. No more room for trouble and fuss. Need a change, a positive change. Look, it's me writing on the wall. It's me writing on the wall. What? Writing on the wall. Do we have any walls in any of these images? No, we don't. Maybe Six of Cups. Nah, kind of ish. Weird. Look, it's me writing on the wall. I mean, the writing on the wall is something that's right in front of you, right? In fact, spiritually speaking, if you think about it, oftentimes that's when, like, God will deliver a message that way. Or, I mean, even in what, like, Harry Potter, the basilisk. Okay, anyways. Back to life, back to the day we have. Let's end this foolish game. Hear me out. Don't let it waste away. Make up your mind so I know where I stand. I gotta go. This wasn't supposed to be this. This wasn't supposed to be like this. This wasn't. This. I'm freaking the fuck out right now. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am freaking the fuck out right now. However do you want it? However. That's all I can hear right now. I love that song. I hear it all the time, but I have never, ever once learned the words to that song. Ever. I honestly, I just remember back to the... See, I don't even, I just read them to you and I'm freaking out. You should be freaking out too. This message was incredible. This message was freaking incredible. I want to get off the message now so I do not lose the message. I don't know why I'm like scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Because I'm like, this is super important. Please let me make this a collective reading. I hope this is not going to be no exclusive, child. Please don't let this be no exclusive. Oh my gosh. I gotta go. I love you. This is my website, thefierygrace.com. I have a big sale going on. It's also my birthday coming up this week, so if you'd like to help assist out, make sure you like some videos, leave some comments. If you can't assist me in any other way, doing that is completely enough. Like, it is incredibly helpful, and it has been helping the channel tremendously since we started it. So thank you so much. I think that's everything, right? I'm a good steward of my gifts. I did good. Okay, I love you. I'm out. Bye.